we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special presentation of
Two Nerds, a podcast. Your home for everything movies, music, video games, and everything in between. With your hosts, Bunny the Bruiser, and Dynamite Jared Latching.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Two Nerds, a podcast. I am Bunny the Bruiser.
And Dynamite Jared Latching.
Welcome back to another fantastic episode of the most illustrious podcast on the internet.
Did we welcome them back yet? Welcome back to the most must-listen to podcast on the internet.
That's what they've been telling us.
This is Michael Jordan's favorite podcast. This is Stone Cold Steve Austin's favorite podcast. This is Michael Jackson's favorite podcast.
Yeah.
From Beyond the Grave.
Beyond the Grave.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of being one of the most listened to podcasts on the internet, we actually did get a couple comments on our last video that I feel need addressed. Angel Movies and Marvel Maniac said, 2 podcasts on the same day is an early Christmas. Well, Angel, the views do not reflect that. Most people do not share the same sentiments as you. But, hey, we can agree. By the way, this is not a comment, but Chris Jericho actually retweeted an episode of Lost on VHS. So
He's a huge fan of that series. We all knew that. We brought up Edge of the Axe, which he brought up in his most recent podcast.
Well, Eli Roth brought it up. He had never seen it, so I think
Jericho never saw it.
So he may have checked out our review to see what.
He was definitely checking out the review to see what was going on. I can't believe he missed the episode because he's seen every other one.
Yeah, and Fozzy is actually coming to Columbus at the end of September. So
did we get our backstage passes in the mail yet?
I'm working on it, so we will see.
All right, cool. Excellent.
But going back to the comments, Angel Movies also said, it's 6 a.m. and I'm watching a video that has Charlottesville in the title. Pretty self-explanatory if you ask me.
Not self-explanatory.
But we're gonna need you to explain this to us.
Can you explain that to us?
But anyways, so no star reviews. Aside from giving all of his SummerSlam predictions and NXT predictions, he also told us, he says, I'm all for... He said, good God, I choked on a moth or something. And, well, he said, I am all for a Survivor Series. They have a traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 match between the alt-right and the anti-Fa. As far as evolution, it is a mystery. Pulling changes no one sees. Blood makes a fool of history. Yesterday's so long ago. Don't agree with what I know. Tomorrow's the only day for me. It's pretty deep stuff.
Yeah, so I read that comment, and it really touched my soul. So I agree with him. At Survivor Series, we are calling for a traditional 5-on-5 elimination match between the alt-right and Antifa, or anti whatever, anti-fascist movement.
Yes, however the abbreviation is pronounced.
So anyways, is that all we got from the last episodes?
That is all of the comments, but we will be addressing many tweets later.
Yeah, okay.
So we actually have a hell of an episode for you guys today. We're gonna be talking about some controversial stuff with one of the most acclaimed directors of all time. We're going to be talking about one of the most acclaimed rappers of all time and why you should follow his private Snapchat account.
That's a stretch.
That is quite the stretch. We're going to be talking some wrestling, some UFC, some boxing, and then later on we're going to be talking about some... Well, should we keep the poll a surprise until we get to it? Or should we... tell them about it now?
How about we just say bye to this subject for right now?
All right. Bye to the subject.
Bye. All right. So, anyways.
But tell me about this James Cameron thing.
All right. So the internet just recently has been exploding about James Cameron, who, let's face it, hasn't really been irrelevant since Avatar came out.
About 7 years.
Yeah. So, let's take a look here. James Cameron recently made some comments about the DC Cinematic Universe's recent film, not so recent anymore, but Wonder Woman that just came out. Let's see here. The quote here from the interview is, all of the self-congratulatory back patting Hollywood's been doing over Wonder Woman has been so misguided. She's an objectified icon, and it's just male Hollywood doing the same old thing. I'm not saying I didn't like the movie, but to me, it's a step backwards. Sarah Connor was not a beauty icon. She was strong, she was troubled, she was a terrible mother, and she earned the respect. Hey James, I'm glad.
I'm glad you acknowledged this.
I'm glad that you came clean about that one. So she was a terrible mother, and she earned the respect of the audience through pure grit. And to me, the benefit of characters like Sarah is so obvious. I mean, half the audience is female. Okay, so
let's just start off by saying, Jameson, my dear sweet soul, this was directed by a woman. Yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but
I actually haven't even seen the film yet.
I haven't seen it either, but everyone who I know that have seen it just said it was amazing, including my girlfriend, who is not a fan of any sort of comic book movie at all.
Yeah.
But she liked this.
Well, here's my take on it, is that I'm going to just come ahead and say that, James, you didn't really have to come out and say any of this, because anyone that knows anything already knows that Terminator 2 is better than Wonder Woman. Let's just get that one out of the way right now. I'm also going to say I don't think this is directed towards really the movie or the director or anything. I'm not really sure that objectified is the right word for her, even though I'm not going to sit here and pretend like she's not sort of scantily clad.
Yeah.
A little bit. I don't think that Wonder Woman's outfit is really the most functional, but it doesn't need to be because she's a superhero. And
but you think capes are functional? I mean, no superhero. Batman is kind of functional minus the cape. But most superhero
Listen, Wonder Woman has kind of a sexy outfit.
Well, yeah.
Let's not sit here and pretend like Wonder Woman isn't this beautiful woman, and everything. I don't think that just because she's beautiful, though, means that she can't be an inspiration to young women. And
Jared owes all of us a grape soda this week.
Oh, interesting. I don't owe you anything because
it was not mine.
It was your phone, or it was your computer probably making that noise, reacting to your text that you just received.
I owe everyone a grape soda.
I don't think the Wonder Woman's beauty has anything to do with her ability to be a role model to young women and to be kind of like a feminist icon. Now, what I will say is that, and also I will say this as well, is that you can't really compare Sarah Connor to Wonder Woman because Terminator 2 wasn't about Sarah Connor.
Not really, no.
She was a side character in that movie.
More so the first one was about Sarah Connor.
Yeah. And in that movie she kind of like evolved throughout it. But even at the end, she kind of got lucky when she killed the Terminator. It was more Kyle Reese was her strong male guy that was protecting her the whole time. She wasn't strong enough to take the Terminator on her own. So there you go, James Cameron. There's your feelings on feminism. Now, by the time T2 rolled around, she was very capable and she was very whatever. I don't even think that she's one of the better characters in that movie, though. She kind of annoyed me at times in that movie, but
really?
I mean, you really just want to see the Terminator blow shit up. He's the star. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the star of that movie. He's the title character, and he's got all the fucking screen time and all the charisma and all that shit. That movie is about the Terminator and his relationship with John Connor. Okay, so Sarah Connor is kind of a supporting character in that movie.
Right. But getting back to Wonder Woman.
But Wonder Woman, that movie's about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
She's no side character. That's the focus of her.
Yeah.
I wasn't finished with my thought yet,
Go ahead.
but I trailed off. So go ahead and say what you have to say because I got to remember.
Well, I was just saying, like, getting back to Wonder Woman, like, it's not like every guy I know was like, oh, Wonder Woman is so hot. It was just like, this is a genuinely good both men and women I know that have seen it said that it was just a genuinely good movie. And unrelated to this, because you didn't tell me about this story until I heard about it on the show, but I was actually watching an interview with the director. I think she was on like Conan or like Jimmy Fallon or something like that. But she like went out of her way to not cast, because like besides Wonder Woman, there's like an army of like Amazonian like women in this, and I guess she went like out of her way not to cast like model type women. She went more for like athletic type, like she went for like track stars and like female boxers and stuff like that, like not the typical attractiveness that you would see, like strong, like powerful women, like not like Stacy Keibler.
Okay, that's great for all these women that are not Wonder Woman, but you look at who is Wonder Woman in these movies, and it's a very beautiful model type woman.
Right.
So, I mean, hey, good for you, female director. Whatever. But anyways, my thought here was I kind of see what James Cameron's saying. I don't see why he had to compare it to Sarah Connor as my big beef with the quote.
He's trying to make himself relevant again. Well, like you said, he wasn't he's like, hey, remember this movie I made in 92?
I'm not going to sit here and hate on James Cameron, man. The guy's one of the greatest film directors of all time. But let's take a step here and see what he's really saying is all the back padding that the studio is doing for itself after the release of this movie. Like, you know, we're making this big feminist movie, and what he's really saying here is that they're just pandering to this audience, and it's what they're fucking doing, because suddenly now I'm hearing all this stuff about Wonder Woman being this feminist icon. Well, guess what, ladies? Okay, Wonder Woman has been around for several fucking decades, okay? She's not something new, and she's been a strong woman that's been fighting crime and doing all this shit. But she's never gotten
a movie like this before.
She's had a movie before.
I'm saying, like, not like a movie that was a big deal like this before.
Not like a major...
a major... like part of the cinematic universe, like a part of.
Okay, well that's because DC's never had a big cinematic universe.
But I'm like, it was never as big as like the Batman movies, where there were huge commercial successes and a lot of people saw them.
Oh, and guess what? This one probably was this. Did this surpass The Dark Knight?
No, I don't think so.
Then. It probably didn't even surpass Dark Knight Rises, which I think did better than The Dark Knight.
I probably did,
but
it was a way worse movie, but it probably did better. But.
So, I mean, regardless, Wonder Woman isn't some feminist icon that just kind of came out of nowhere. She's been around for quite some time now, and I mean, I don't like that we're just suddenly treating it like she's this powerful woman character that, you know, we just created to even the playing field here.
But I'm not exactly sure, because I haven't read a lot of the old, like, Wonder Woman comics. Like, I'm assuming she was always... like able to fend for her. I mean, she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
like,
Wonder Woman has always been a badass. She was probably, I'm going to say, the third. I mean, this is going to come off bad to the feminists out there, but I'm going to say that she was probably always the third most competent Justice League member.
Behind like Batman
and Superman. Yeah. Okay, which, I mean, if you guys are expecting Justice League the movie to be any different, I'm sorry, but you're delusional, okay? She did kind of outshine Batman and Superman for a little bit in Batman versus Superman.
Which I still have not seen.
Well, anyway. When they fought
Doomsday,
you know, she kind of held her own a little bit better than those guys did.
Did I ever tell you about like that fan fiction or whatever when they were inserting Roman Reigns into everything, like Roman Reigns in the Bible and Roman Reigns in Batman versus Superman?
No.
I'm gonna have to find the video to see all the stuff they were talking about. But basically, like, they were saying something like, it was like booking WrestleMania, like it was like fantasy booking, and every match Roman interfered and like got all the titles. And I think like they said like Roman Reigns in Batman versus Superman. And it's like Superman giving this speech. It's like, one day justice will return, and then it's like in the background you just hear, ooh, ah! It's just like something, and like I don't know, it was ridiculous, but anyway. It's like the justice will return is just like off in the distance. You hear like echoing like throughout all these buildings.
I mean, anyways,
Anyway,
man,
that's way beside
Wonder Woman's not going to lead the Justice League. I'm just letting you guys know right now. I mean, you can just see that kind of in the trailers already.
Yeah.
Batman is the star of the Justice League trailer. And
But I actually saw online today that they may have cut all of the Lex Luger out of the movie. I don't know if that's true or not, but
for what?
they're not thrilled with Jesse Eisenberg, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But from what I've read, it was just a Facebook article I saw. I didn't read it. I was just like scrolling past, so it could very well not be true.
Okay.
But anyway, anything else you want to say about this, or?
No, James Cameron's right, but he's also wrong here. So, a lot of people are freaking out because they're seeing the headline here, and the media is, trying to, put that big headline there. Wonder Woman is an objectified icon or whatever, and to, grab hits.
Grab some headlines.
Some hits and stuff, and people are just kind of seeing the headline and getting a little outraged by it. Go read the whole quote, read the whole interview for yourself, and make your own opinion of it. There's no doubt about it that Warner Brothers is pandering to a feminist audience right now. And that's business, but that's what they're doing. And they've been kind of self-congratulatory about it, about how, groundbreaking it is and everything. Mm-hmm. It's not really groundbreaking. Let me tell you about this movie called Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens, by the way, which was directed by James Cameron.
Which is what he should have been talking about.
That has a strong female lead in it. So either way, I mean, James Cameron isn't, I'm assuming, just based on his work, is not sexist.
Yeah.
There was someone posted an article saying how his ex-wife said being married to him was hell, as if that was relevant to this this quote, which it's not. You can have a bad marriage without being married to a sexist.
Right.
Like, so regardless,
we've been touching some deep subjects this season. Racism, sexism.
The world's a deep place. So anyways, I think James Cameron's still in the safe zone. He probably should have worded things a little bit better.
Or I don't know why he would even make a comment to begin with.
I don't know. I didn't think Wonder Woman was still relevant in the movie world right now. Everything.
Well, I think it's about to come out on DVD.
Is it? I thought it was already out.
Oh, is it?
I thought.
It might be. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Jesus Christ. I still haven't seen it. So.
Yeah.
Regardless, let's move on.
But anyway, so I was on Twitter yesterday, and I saw that the illustrious Riff Raff has created a private Snapchat account, and I almost pissed my pants when I saw people responding to this. Basically, if you're not familiar with Riff Raff, he's a horrible rapper. There's no way around it. He is a horrible rapper.
You're gonna lose some of our listeners here, man. Riff Raff's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the tweet, it has since been deleted.
Okay.
Because I was trying to find it today. But it was like, new private Riff Raff Snapchat. Send $100 to this PayPal email along with your Snapchat username to be granted access. And then once you send the payment, he'll add you on this private Snapchat.
Okay.
It's $100. And I saw another tweet that there will be real life sex on this Snapchat, and it should be for girls only.
Okay.
So boys may not be accepted if they even pay the $100 to Riff Raff, not Riff Rat's private account.
Wow. So it's kind of like prostitution, isn't it?
I would say so.
Jesus Christ. Riff Raff, the rap game treating him kind of bad. Dude, the rap game has been good to Riff Raff, man.
I would say so.
He's exploited the rap game and made kind of a good little living for himself, I'm assuming.
More respectable living than ourselves.
Yeah. And so, I don't even know what to say about this one, man. This is just so ridiculous. They pay $100 to have real life sex with riffraff, females only.
Well, no, you are watching him have real life sex.
Oh!
How are you gonna have sex with him? Well, maybe it's Snapchat where he's like pretending to fuck you or something. But I was assuming he's just Snapchatting himself having sex for women to watch.
Oh, yeah,
That's what I
let
thought
us
it
know
was.
in the comments or in some tweets or whatever.
What's going on with
What's going on?
If
If any of you have donated the $100 to riffraff, let us know what's going on in this private
what's going on?
Snapchat. And by the way, how are we not getting the Snapchat username? Like, how is somebody not outed the Snapchat username yet?
It's out there.
Okay,
No, it's just called Private Riff.
but he's just not going
He
to
doesn't.
add you.
He won't add you.
Okay,
And
that
so
makes
it's
sense.
just
All right.
Private Riff, no space. And speaking of which, we are also launching our exclusive Two Nerds a Podcast private Snapchat feed. But the catch is we will pay you $100 to follow us on Snapchat because otherwise it will not have any followers.
God, can't they just send us like $1 and then they would? I'm not gonna broadcast live sex with my girlfriend. Sorry, she's not up for it.
But if it was up to you,
Listen, man.
neither here
I
nor
would
there.
take that $100. All right, so
but anyway, so speaking of
today
speaking of
is the big fight.
yes,
McGregor versus Mayweather. Both their last names start with an M, and both of them are professional fighters.
Eminem, not to be confused with the rapper Marshall Mathers, which also is two M's.
Yeah.
Hence the name. But
Anyways, these two lightweights are gonna
these two pussies.
they're gonna square off in the ring tonight in what's being promoted as a super fight, and anyone with any brains knows that this fight is going to be a travesty.
Yes.
But I'm still gonna watch it. Are you watching it?
Where are you watching it at?
I'm going to the EPW private watch party.
Oh, well, then I guess I'm not watching it.
Okay, well then fuck you then.
How am I supposed to watch it then?
I
What
didn't
am I
know
supposed
if
to
you
do?
were going to like a party or anything watching
No,
it.
I have no friends.
Okay, so anyways, I'll give the play-by-play next week, but I can guarantee you it'll be something like this. 12 rounds of Floyd Mayweather dodging and then throwing slight jabs.
Something like that.
Yeah. Amazing. Anyways, your prediction for this fight.
I don't know. My heart says McGregor, my brain says Mayweather.
I would love for an upset in this fight.
I'd love for McGregor to just.
It would just be
Yeah.
so ridiculous. Like, that's what we're really looking to see here, right? I mean, is there anyone really buying this fight just because they want to see Floyd win? We all know Floyd is going to win, but, like, maybe in just that off fucking chance that Floyd somehow slips on a banana peel and falls right into McGregor's fucking right or left hook, then, you know...
Here's how I see it going. It'll probably just go 12 rounds and, like, they'll get one or two hits on each other. And that'll be it. And it'll be called by the scores or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see a
And
knockout.
Floyd will win.
Yeah. Kind of like was that how the Pacquiao fight went? It was
Yeah,
just,
it was just, you know, they were kind of dancing around each other. Pacquiao kept trying to get in, and Floyd, you know, was playing good defense, and so he won the fight. Anyways, defense is the best offense in boxing, apparently. Anyways, a super fight, an actual super fight, has been shelved for the foreseeable future.
But I
now.
do have a suggestion out there, but go ahead with what you're saying. I do have a suggestion.
After John Jones called out Brock Lesnar after his amazing UFC title win,
His return to the after a failed drug test and having to relinquish the title the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it has been since revealed that John Jones has once again, actually I can't say once again because he didn't test positive for steroids the first time, tested positive for Viagra.
Really?
Yeah. So, but has tested positive for steroids and has had his title stripped
And from what I read, it was like it wasn't like the typical steroids. It was like some like weird thing they used in the 60s for like Olympic training or something. So he thought it would be harder to detect, but they detected it anyway.
Ugh.
But
anyways, John Jones' reaction to this is just absolutely priceless. He quote tweeted the TMZ article and simply said, "Fuck." Give him the belt back, man. After that,
he did it to himself, though.
Yeah,
Like, here's my thing, and the same goes for Lesnar. If you're competing at that level, and I don't understand why you would.
You know you're gonna get drug tested.
Yeah, like
so why are we trying to find loopholes here, dude? Just play it safe, train the right way, and fight the fight the right way. That's what everyone else is fucking doing. You know what I mean? Everyone else that doesn't test positive for steroids.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, you're winning a fight.
Yeah.
You know, and you win the fight, but then a couple days later, you just look like a fucking asshole because you won the fight because you were juiced up, man. So.
And then do you know what they're doing with the title? Are they giving it back to the guy he fought, or I heard they might just be up in the, because I heard that he said, "Oh, I don't want it. I lost, so I don't want to just be giving it back."
Yeah, I don't think that's
back.
how it works in UFC. Someone's gonna have to fight for a new title. I got to assume that Daniel Cormier will be in that fight.
Well, he'll probably be in the fight, but they're just not giving the title back to him on a technicality.
And they're gonna have to determine a contender as well to go for that. So, anyways, that's been shelved. I don't think we're going to see John Jones versus Brock Lesnar.
But here's my thing.
Okay, here's your thing.
Doesn't have to be in the UFC. These guys have the means to put on a pay-per-view by themselves. They're both juiced up. Just let them go. What does it matter? Anything goes. Like, why not? If they're both gonna.
I mean, I don't see why UFC wouldn't just be like, you know what?
Free for all.
Fuck it, just fight. You know what I mean? Because it's going to make you a ton of fucking money.
Yeah.
If they're not going to do it, maybe Vince McMahon should.
He might. He
had the Octagon fight between Owen Hart and Steve Blackman, I want to say, back in the day.
Well, they had it wasn't UFC, but they had like the boxing like brawl for all.
Yeah, but that was still shoot fighting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just let them fucking kill each other.
It can happen. But let's just say that John Jones failing that drug test made it a hell of a lot easier for Vince to re-sign Brock after WrestleMania. Hell of a lot easier to re-sign him.
Anyways.
But speaking of WWE, we had a little discussion last week about the Mount Rushmore of WWE. You guys on Twitter tweeted us your thoughts. So I'll just go through some of them right now, and Jared will get my thoughts and Jared's thoughts. By the way, the image.
Let's go one at a time, and then just kind of like say our thoughts.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But before we get into it, I will say that I did not Photoshop that image. It was on Google Images, and one of the other ones that was right next to it was a poorly Photoshopped Mount Rushmore where someone just put Triple H on all four of them.
That's Triple H's Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. Oh, man.
So it's just a quadruple H on this Mount Rushmore. But this first one right here, it's from It's Jay Black on Twitter. It says Triple H, Rock, Stone Cold, and Hogan.
So you're obviously a huge fan of the Attitude Era. It's Jay Black. I am too.
As we all are.
But I think that you went a little heavy on the Attitude Era here. I don't think that...
As much as Triple H wants to be on there, I can't justify him.
You got to put like Flair in there over Triple H or something, man, because I think even Triple H would tell you that.
Yeah.
Rock is fair. Again, I don't like having Rock and Stone Cold on the same Mount Rushmore. I think you got to pick one, and I think that if you're picking one of those, you got to go Stone Cold. But regardless, Hogan's on there, which is something that I advocated highly for.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a little heavy on the basically everything you said, a little heavy on the Attitude Era. I'm the guy that's like, 20 years from now or whatever, like looking back, I think you should have someone who's a little more modern on there as well. But that's beside.
Well, that's 20 years from now. Okay?
I know.
So I mean, you can't just throw, like I said last week, you can't just throw Barack Obama on Mount Rushmore today, or whatever you want to do. So, and I mean, he's the first black president, so that's president's enough right there to throw his ass on Mount Rushmore.
So
The next one
is from Troy Andretti, and it's Stone Cold, Hogan, Rock, and Cena.
So again, you got Stone Cold and The Rock on here.
Which is a popular theme on a lot of these.
It's becoming really obvious to me that just like a lot of guys are kind of just going off of what they've seen in the 90s and not really taking the whole history into account. So, and again, with the Cena there on the end, which I think it's a little too soon to just say Mount Rushmore for Cena. Definitely deserving, but just kind of a victim of being current, in my opinion.
Right. I disagree, but I understand where you are coming from. But so our next one is I'm AJ, bro. It's like
AJ Styles?
No, it just says I'm AJ, bro. It's not I'm AJ Styles. He is AJ, bro. And he says Taker, Shawn Michaels, Cena, and Rock.
No, I read some of these on the thing and was surprised that only one person said Shawn Michaels.
And only one person said Taker.
Yeah.
Taker was in the picture that I uploaded.
Yeah, Taker. If you're doing it, your picture was a WWE picture.
I know someone just photoshopped it.
Really? Because I swear to God, WWE did like
they might have
Mount Rushmore thing before, where they had a picture. And if you're making a WWE Mount Rushmore, Taker's 10 billion% on there. There's no way you can get around it. Just the WWE Mount Rushmore, that's Undertaker, Hogan, Austin, and probably Shawn Michaels. Overall Mount Rushmore, I feel like Shawn Michaels is definitely.
I would not consider that for.
You don't think Shawn Michaels deserves to be on wrestling's Mount Rushmore?
No, I mean, he very well could be, but I don't know. I wouldn't put him on mine.
Let's just look at it like this, okay? Shawn Michaels is pretty highly, undebatedly, the greatest in-ring performer of all time.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, being as high of praise as it is, I think that if you're the best wrestler of all time, you should go on Mount Rushmore.
But I just don't think he was ever as big of a star as the other guys. Like, he was undoubtedly one of the hardest, debatably the best in-ring worker ever.
Let's take it here. Shawn Michaels is basically the prototype for pretty much every fucking wrestler that exists in WWE and in TNA and everything today. Everyone's throwing super kicks. Everyone's doing moonsaults. Everyone has gotten their work style from Shawn Michaels today. If he's not the greatest wrestler, he's definitely probably the most influential in-ring worker.
I would say at least
for today.
Yeah.
Because Ric Flair before him was the most influential of all time.
Yeah.
But man, you just go back and look at some of these guys, and they just. I don't want to say like the smaller guys, but like obviously like Strowman and like the huge dudes aren't taking influence from Shawn Michaels in ring style. But I would say if you're. Dude, I really don't know, man.
But I have seen Strowman throw some kicks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that like I bet you if you ask those guys anything, where do you get like a lot of your stuff from? They'll probably say some shit like, "Oh man, you remember when Shawn Michaels used to do this?" You just listen to like every like wrestling podcast. It seems just like everyone's just like Shawn Michaels. So that's my argument for Shawn Michaels on a Mount Rushmore.
You didn't put him on yours.
I didn't even come up with a solid fourth. If you remember, I said maybe someone older, like Gorgeous George or something, but I never came up with a
Calhoun
or someone like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put Haystacks on there.
That was a joke.
But I mean, Shawn Michaels is as good a candidate as anyone. I think underrated as far as our responses go.
I'm surprised
Shawn
I'm
Michaels.
surprised we didn't see in any of these responses or in discussion Bret Hart didn't come up at all.
Bret Hart is not on any of these, right?
Right. That's what I just said.
That's a tough one. I don't know.
It's tough to get just 4.
Yeah, it's really tough to narrow it down. Like, Bret's up there, but I don't think that his work is ever as highly praised as Shawn Michaels. I feel like Shawn Michaels would make a Mount Rushmore before Bret Hart. Bret Hart was a great in-ring worker. Is one of the best of all time. I don't know if Bret really innovated in the way that Shawn Michaels did.
Well, he was really the first heavyweight champion that wasn't like a big dude. He was like the first of like
That's fine. That's kind of Vince innovating right there. Bret Hart was a mat technician, and he was probably the best mat technician of all time. But can you think of any moves from Bret Hart's moveset that really just kind of broke the fucking norm for that time?
Well, I mean, everyone still does the sharpshooter, but
it was a leg
Yeah.
hold, and it was your finish, which
Yeah.
was supposed to be unique. But what else was Bret Hart's signature moves?
nothing that
Hart-
that sticks out.
I'm not
now.
trying to knock on Bret Hart. And if Bret Hart hears this podcast, I'm sure he'll get super defensive about this, as Bret Hart does all the fucking time. He's very defensive. But I'm saying and I'm not saying Shawn Michaels is the first guy to do a moonsault either or anything.
Right.
But just the way that he put everything together and just kind of made this super athletic style that translated to kind of like a heavyweight style too.
Yeah.
That he's working in heavyweight matches with super kicks and moonsaults and just all these flips and crazy things. You know what I mean? Is that I feel like Shawn Michaels was more of an innovator.
And I will also say this about Shawn Michaels: he was more of the full package. And regardless if you like Bret or not, you have to admit he was trash on the mic. And I think character work is as
Near
important.
the end of Bret's run, he was very, very good on the mic when he turned heel. So when he was in the Hart Foundation, I think that Bret Hart was, okay, I shouldn't say very, very good, but he was good on the mic.
For a time.
Okay,
But throughout his
whatever.
whole... Sean was always good.
Okay.
So our next person is... My name is Darian. And he says Stone Cold Rock Cena Triple H. So this is all mid-2000s and 90s.
Yeah.
There's no 80s wrestler... Well, Stone Cold... He might have started in WCW in 90.
Yeah.
But he wasn't Stone Cold then.
No.
But... No 80s wrestlers.
Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and write this one off. Oh, man.
This would be a good... If you were to switch Cena out for Taker, this would be the perfect Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a great Attitude Era Mount Rushmore, but...
And then we have this last one from Cupid Valentino 9, which... You might want to hang on your seat there a little harder. We have Santino Marella, Goldust, Zack Ryder, and Roman Reigns. He is trolling us, obviously, but
Let's move on.
But here's the thing: Goldust deserves more respect than what he has been given.
Goldust
Is a fucking legend.
Goldust is one of the all-time greats, one of the all-time great characters in WWE.
And it pains me that he's been a joke the entire time, but has stayed mostly committed to what he's been doing.
Dude, Goldust was not a joke in the 90s. Goldust had some very serious heat back in the 90s, back when homophobia was still at like an
Yeah, and he
all-time
was, like,
high.
Didn't he kiss like some football player they had as a guest and like they chased him out of the building?
Yeah, so I mean, Goldust, I'm still a proponent, and he's going back to that gimmick right now, right? Am I correct? That he's kind of like the 90s Goldust again?
Well, now he's like this big Hollywood director. He turned heel again, and he's like, this is the gold. Yeah, he still hasn't had a pay-per-view match or anything.
Yeah,
but like,
I mean, I don't think he's going to either because it's too little, too late. I was a big proponent of making Goldust world champion back in the '90s when he was really hot, but that's whatever. That's the time has passed.
I know.
That's all, folks.
It would be nice to have him at least have some sort of title run before he calls it quits. Like, not with the heavyweight title, because that will never happen, but a U.S. title, or if they were to ever bring the hardcore championship back, because he had that like 9 times or something. But
we'll see what happens with him. I don't foresee any title runs or anything.
No, I don't foresee one either. I'm saying
he already had a couple of
nice.
good tag team title runs before Cody left. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there you go. He's still an incredible worker right now, even in his old age.
Yeah.
All right.
So SummerSlam was last week.
Yes.
Did you catch the show?
I watched the highlight matches.
Which were what?
AJ versus Owens.
Okay.
Nakamura versus Jinder, which
well,
turned out to be a low light match. And obviously the main event, which was fantastic.
So obviously we're not going to talk about every match because we'll be here all night. But I'll just bring up some of the things that you missed. New Day versus Usos was a good match.
And Usos won.
Yeah.
Did we both call that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we both called that. But that was a good match. Some people are saying it is a contender for best tag match of the year. But I don't know if I'd go that. It was a good match. But I don't know if it was even as good as the tag match we saw later that night.
Better than Authors of Pain versus DIY?
That, by the way, that was incredible.
What? Authors of Pain versus DIY? Yeah.
And
when did you watch that?
I think in like a month ago, just because I was trying to, because I figure like around July is when they start releasing the list, like the best matches of the year so far.
Yeah.
So I wanted to catch up on that. Did you watch NXT TakeOver?
I watched.
Because that was a hell of a tag match too.
I watched the 2 main events.
Yeah.
Asuka versus Ember Moon, which was a great match. A really good match.
It was.
And then I watched Rude versus Drew McIntyre.
Which was okay.
It was a good match.
Honestly, the main event was the worst match on the card.
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of was in and out of Gargano versus Andrade. But, I mean, I watched most of it. But I was kind of walking in and out of the room. And that looked like it was a good match as well.
Yeah.
And kind of a cool finish with the DIY shirt being thrown at Gargano, distracting him. So, you watched it?
Yeah, the tag match was the tag match was ridiculous. If you haven't seen the tag match, I would say watch that. And then Hideo Itami versus Aleister Black was also pretty good.
Actually, I think I watched that match too, because I was curious to see who was going over in that match. Shout out to our guys, Code Orange. Good friend. I'm not actually joking this time. Is cool guys, friends of mine, and did an awesome fucking job at TakeOver. And I'm so happy for those guys because every time that they would come play in Beulah, you know, we would always just talk about wrestling like a lot. And so I know those guys love WWE and they love wrestling. And so I can only imagine how cool it was for them to
play an entrance,
to be a part of a WWE show. Not just play an entrance, but open the show and performing one of their songs. So they did a fantastic job. And that was probably one of the best like live performances at a WWE pay-per-view I've seen.
That was the first ever one on NXT as well.
Yeah, so like that one was actually cool. It definitely beat out Flo Rida at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and
Machine Gun Kelly and stuff like that. Anyways, any other thoughts on those?
On NXT, no, not really.
What about SummerSlam?
Trying to think. I'll just talk about like the memorable moments, I guess. Cena did not give a fuck about his match with Baron Corbin, and it was honestly sad because he just like he ran Like Cena like ran over to JBL's thing and like put on his cowboy hat and started dancing around.
Well, aren't they burying Corbin right
Yeah.
now? So I mean,
But like the match was like a mockery. Like Meltzer gave it like 2 stars or something.
did Corbin get any offense in?
Yeah, like Corbin like had a lot of the offense like during it, and then just like one AA, and then that was it.
Ugh. That was one thing about that Bobby Roode match with Drew McIntyre is that he had just hit a glorious DDT on McIntyre and was picking him up for another one, and then all of a sudden McIntyre just fires out and hits him with that kick, and he's like not even hurt.
Right.
Like, man, you just took the dude's finish. Like,
But they brought Bobby Roode up to SmackDown 2 days later.
oh, he's on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No. I thought it was coming, but I didn't actually read about it.
He's on SmackDown.
I figured I would have heard from Miles about it by now. He would have posted something like, Bobby Roode, baby! You know, like.
But no, Bobby Roode's on SmackDown. He had a match with Aiden English. Debuted against him randomly and obviously went over.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised it wasn't a complete squash. It lasted more than 30 seconds. So, yeah, that's that.
Bobby Roode's going to be a big time player on the main roster. He's just got that.
Well, he is babyface now, by the way.
He's babyface?
Yes. Because.
English is a heel?
Well, because Cena moved over to Raw.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that. So they need kind of another top guy on there besides AJ. So I think.
Nakamura.
I don't know, but they're gonna do with that. But we'll see. He debuted babyface. That's all I'm telling you.
What was the definite sign that he was a babyface?
Just watch it.
No, was it because the crowd cheered him?
He's a babyface, Jared. It's okay.
Did he say something on the mic?
Just trust me.
No, it's that gimmick doesn't work as a babyface. It doesn't work. And if you need another top babyface, you have one in Shinsuke Nakamura. And not just because Nakamura didn't win the WWE title from Jinder Mahal in his first WWE title match ever, doesn't mean Nakamura's not a top babyface.
We'll see what happens.
What happened with Nakamura? Is he still feuding with Mahal?
Yes.
Okay, then. He's probably going to win the fucking title next pay-per-view.
We'll
Then look at that. You got 2 babyface champions. Your 2 top babyfaces.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We still got SummerSlam to talk
The
about.
glorious gimmick is not a babyface gimmick. It's going to be fucking garbage.
We got the rest of SummerSlam to talk about. We'll get to SmackDown in a bit. Actually, that's pretty much all there is to say about it. But Cesaro tore up a beach ball that was going on during his match. And so now WWE has banned all beach balls and pool-related devices from all their shows.
Oh, so I can't bring my whale floaty there?
No, you can't bring your water wings. You can't bring any pool noodles.
How am I supposed to not drown when Triple H spits his water up at me?
I don't know, man. Questions that'll never be answered, I guess.
All right, so I see you got weird booking written down here. What's going? What do you think was weird?
Just weird bookings. I mean, a lot of it is coming to light now, since news has been released this week. Like Rusev getting absolutely buried, but it turned out it's because he asked for his release. So now it makes kind of sense. And originally, the finish to Mahal versus Shinsuke was supposed to be Shinsuke wins, Baron cashes in, but then that all changed.
Yeah.
And then Shinsuke was supposed to win by DQ, and then they decided to just go with the same finish they did with Randy Orton in the first pay-per-view where the Sings interfere.
Yeah.
And then Jinder does a botched version of his own finisher.
That match was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was
and
bad.
I'm not saying that just because Shinsuke lost or anything. That match was really, really slow, plotting, and just fucking bad.
I really just don't see the value in having Jinder as champ anymore. I mean, obviously you want to expand your market in India, but
He's a heel.
It's ran its course. Yeah, he's a heel. It doesn't really work. Did you watch the Battleground match when Great Khali interfered?
I just heard about it. I'm not going to watch a Punjabi prison match.
I didn't watch it either, but I saw like the YouTube when they like do the highlights. It's like Great Khali returns, and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even watch any of Battleground, actually. I don't know if you watched it, but I did not watch it. I'm trying to think what else happened at SummerSlam that's noteworthy to say. The beach ball thing. I don't know. Oh, did the match with Enzo? Did you hear anything about what happened?
Just saw the very end that Cass had them both knocked out.
Okay, well, Enzo spit a promo, and the crowd was not about it at all.
Really?
Yeah, he was like...
First time for everything, I guess.
Yeah, he was like praising Brooklyn, and they did not pop at all for some reason. So he goes in the shark cage. The match happened. Big Show had a broken hand, so he couldn't do the KO punch, and that was like the story going in. So Enzo was gonna go down there and like save him, and Enzo was like talking trash the whole time. So Enzo's trying to like go through the bars of the shark cage.
Yeah.
And he strips down to his underwear, covers himself in baby oil, and gets out of the cage. Immediately gets hit by a big boot, and then that was the end of it.
Well,
so Enzo was buried.
I did not see that, but that's awful.
So Enzo was buried, and then the next night on Raw, Cass got injured and is out for potentially a year.
Oh.
And Enzo moved to 205 Live and is going to be working with Neville for the title.
For the title? Did Neville get the belt back already?
Yeah, Neville won at SummerSlam.
Oh.
Surprisingly.
Oh.
Neither of us picked Neville, but he won. But anyway, and then really there's not much else to say. I mean, some matches were okay, some were not as good. TakeOver was much better, but the main event, like, if a pay-per-view is gonna be shitty, like the main event like has to work, and I think this main event more than delivered.
That's not really much to say about it other than it was great, and I think that they got all the things out of it that they wanted to get out of it. They made Braun Strowman look like an absolute animal, and they made Brock Lesnar look like an absolute animal.
And here's the thing: people don't give Brock enough credit, but he was selling his ass off in this.
The guy always sells like he got fucking shot with a gun that shoots fucking 2-ton bricks. Okay, like Brock Lesnar can sell like a fucking like crazy, which is weird because he's a guy that shouldn't even really be selling that often. But he does. The thing with Brock Lesnar is that I'm calling his cardio into question right now. It just seems like his last bunch of matches, he's just not worked for very long.
Yeah.
And in this one, they even did a gimmick for him where he didn't have to work the entire match. So, I don't know. Whatever. Brock's doing Brock. He probably doesn't give a goddamn about his ring cardio.
Right.
So, it was still just an absolute fantastic match. And they found a way to work about Brock's alleged cardio issues without hurting anyone, without hurting the guys that they didn't want to hurt, which is Brock and Braun Strowman. Reigns taking the pin is the only weird thing. I don't have a problem with it, don't get me wrong. It's the only weird thing about this match because it's just not what you expect.
Yeah.
I thought Joe was the fall guy.
I figured it would have been Joe out of anyone. I knew it would not be Strowman, but Reigns was kind of up in the air. I figured it would have been Joe as well. Yeah. Especially because he lost to 1F5 last time at Great Balls of Fire or whatever. Yeah. So, but regardless, SummerSlam overall, I thought it was a decent show, but
I think it's becoming like a tradition now for NXT to kind of show up SummerSlam every year. Yeah.
But anyway, so the next night on Raw, Heyman's out there gloating, and Strowman comes out and basically demolishes Brock, like right there. So that's going to be the next match for No Mercy. That's going to be the headlining for the title. I don't think Strowman's going to get it, but I don't know how they're going to work around him losing.
I'm thinking that he's going to be on offense.
It might
for
be a
bulk.
DQ.
I'm thinking that he's going to... Is he still undefeated?
Strowman?
Yeah.
No, Reigns beats him a lot. Well, not a lot, but Reigns is
you're right. He won the ambulance match.
Strowman won the ambulance match, but
Reigns broke out and then threw him and then drove.
Yes. Yeah. But before that, I think it was at like Fastlane or something, like Roman beat him.
Regardless, I I think that I don't think it's going to be a DQ or anything. I think we're going to see Strowman get the bulk of the offense in the match, but then Brock to make a superhuman comeback and hit an F5 on him for the win. I think that's what we're going with here.
Yeah. And we really haven't seen Brock hit an F5 on someone that huge since he feuded with
They teased it, though. They teased the F5 on Strowman because he had him up on the shoulders in the match. And then I think he got attacked by someone, or it was just a little bit too much, and he had to kind of let him down.
But he's F5 Big Show before.
Yeah.
So it'll happen.
Yeah.
The other main talking point from Raw is Cena debuted, obviously, calling out Roman Reigns. They come out, they get booed, and then Miz hits another one of his promo. Wasn't it around this time last year where he did that really good promo?
What, on Daniel Bryan?
Yeah. Well, he had another one this week.
I haven't heard any of this stuff, so it's not a surprise to me because I know he can do it. He did this to Miz and Roman?
Well, Miz did it to Roman and Cena.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently it was unscripted and unplanned, and a lot of people were kind of mad about it, but that could be just a work.
Yeah.
Like, they could just be saying that, but...
Miz is a company guy. He's not going to come out and do a shoot promo when it's not scheduled, so I don't buy that. That's all a work.
Well, he was supposed to do a promo, but I don't think he was supposed to take it as far as he did, was what they were saying. Because regardless, Joe came out and they had a tag match at the end of the night. But I don't think they wanted Miz to go as far as he did, was what they were saying. But it's whatever. And yeah, so we are getting Reigns and Cena at some point in the future. We just don't know when. They basically guaranteed that. I think Cena's going to work with Joe at the next pay-per-view. But it could very well be Roman. I don't know, your thoughts on that? Honestly, I think it's kind of sad the lengths that they're going to try to get this guy over, but that now they're going to have him go over Cena as well. And it's still, I mean, unless they turn him heel, because regardless, he's going to be the heel going into the match. Because no matter how hard they're going to boo Cena, they're going to boo him twice as hard. So,
man, I'm just fucking over it already, man. Like, I just don't give a fuck about Roman Reigns. And I never have, but like now I'm just at such an all-time high of not giving a fuck about Roman Reigns that it's like I've been so indifferent to him for so long, and it's like you're gonna put him over Cena, dude, and it's just like, look, man, the dude just doesn't fucking have it. Like, and maybe he does, but you're just pushing it too fucking hard, and you're not letting it come out naturally. I don't foresee Roman Reigns ever being a bigger star than John Cena, and I think that or as big of a star as John Cena, for that matter. So, man, it just doesn't make a lot of like sense to me to have John Cena passing Roman Reigns the torch right now. But that's what they're going to do. And I mean, they're going to have him beat Brock at WrestleMania.
Well, part of it is they think that Reigns versus Lesnar isn't going to happen, and they're going to have Reigns and Cena at Mania instead. Because I think part of them decided that the Lesnar-Reigns thing wasn't going to work. So they were going to...
So why does Brock even have the belt right now?
I don't know. Maybe they'll put someone else over. I don't know. Originally it was for Reigns, but now it might be Strowman. Could be Finn.
Brock and Reigns can work. They'll have a great match just like they did a few years ago. It was an awesome match that they had. The problem is that just nobody wants to see Reigns beat Brock, but the same problem is that nobody wants to see Reigns beat anyone because no one wants to see Reigns be the top guy, even though he's been forced down our throats as the top guy for so long. That's what's not working. That's the thing that's not working. That's what it is. It's not who he's working with or, you know, how much he sucks in the ring. He's just not connecting with the audience in his current state. That's why a heel turn might be really beneficial for him. I'm not guaranteeing it's beneficial effects, but I'm saying that you probably have a lot better chance of that fucking working than what you got going on right now.
And I don't know what they have going, because basically someone from creative responded to why they don't turn him heel, and they're like, well, he's already the biggest heel in the company and we don't have to do anything, is what they said. So, like, they had no plans to turn him heel. But, I don't know. A lot can happen between there and Mania. Part of me, well, all of me, does not want to stomach the fact that Reigns will headline Mania for the 4th year in a row and probably go over for the 3rd year in a row, which makes Mania not that appealing to me this next year, but we'll see.
We're supposedly getting Nakamura versus AJ, so
it won't be the main event.
Well,
Will not be the main event. It'll be Reigns versus either Cena or Lesnar.
well, the thing about Nakamura versus AJ, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the main event of the Tokyo Dome either, but it was still the best match of the night.
It wasn't? I thought it was. It was
No, because it was for the Intercontinental Championship over there. Yeah. The main event was like Tanahashi versus Okada.
Really?
Or whatever, yeah. So, anyways, we've been talking a long time about wrestling. I think it's time to
Switch gears a little bit. Say bye to wrestling.
say bye to wrestling, and I can't really think of any other boy band puns. So let's get right into this week's poll. Buddy,
You can, because you've been very excited about this for the past month and a half.
everyone knows that I'm really fucking gay. So anything that involves talking about attractive men just excites me on the podcast. And so this week is we're doing our big finale for our music month of polls.
Right.
And what we've decided to do is to form our own little super groups here out of some of our favorite characters from some of our favorite franchises, or whatever, movies, video games, television shows, but it has to be characters. It can't be a real person. And form a boy band.
Right.
And who would make the best boy band? Now, there's several factors that go into this. The first, and which I think is probably the most important, since you could always doctor someone's voice,
is the general attractiveness of,
yes,
of
what does this guy look like? Is he going to be attractive? Is he going to bring in the female audience that we want to bring in with our boy band? Okay. Now, 2 is performance. Can this guy pull off the dance moves necessary? Can he be flamboyant when he needs to be? You know what I mean? Can he?
Right.
Does he have the charisma to bring in, to get these girls screaming? Okay. And 3, and I've already kind of said already, the singing voice, not so important, but could play a factor in
Yes,
this.
could very well play a factor.
All right.
And you've been excited about this. You've done research on this. I have done zero research.
I haven't done any research.
I saw you on your phone. I was like, Jared, what are you doing on your phone over there? Oh, I'm doing research for the poll.
I'm trying to figure out who I can use.
Who's on your squad? All right.
Now, I'll give you a nice little friendly hint here, and I know you're going first this month.
No, you can go first.
No, I went first last week.
Yeah, but you lose every time. So you can go first.
Well,
win.
I'm not taking this pick, so I'm just going to throw it out there because this guy's always let me down.
Link?
But I think that Link would make a hell of a boy band guy. Now, we got a picture of Link right here.
In the studio, right next to our faces at all times.
So let's take a look at him here and just look at this. This is an attractive guy here.
This particular photo is from Twilight Princess, so he's in his teen years.
Yeah.
Formative years.
And he's looking damn good, if you don't mind me saying so myself. And he's got just such great hair for a boy band.
Right.
And I mean, just the blonde hair, blue eyes, or whatever you want to say. It's kind of like a dirty blonde.
Yeah.
And blue eyes look. I just feel like this guy would be driving girls crazy. Now, we know he drives Princess Zelda crazy. And we know he drives Talon. No, Talon's the guy. Malin, right? Is Malin the girl? From the Lon Lon Ranch, the female at the Lon Lon Ranch, Malin.
No, because I just remember her from Majora's Mask when she was the other character. I forget Talon, Malin. What?
Let's see here. Let's see what we're working with. Okay, so Talon's the guy, and Malin
Okay.
is the girl who is just absolutely
In love with the younger version of Link.
well. She's in love with Teen Link too. She's really happy with him. That they never knock boots.
Oh yeah, because when you go back, it's
When
the
you go
older
back,
she's the older version.
yeah, and you save her
Yeah.
the horse and everything.
'Cause
She gives you Epona and
Because
stuff.
in Majora's Mask, they use both the character models and their sisters. So I forgot in Ocarina.
Oh, okay,
in
yeah,
Ocarina,
yeah.
you see her older.
She definitely wants the peep from Link.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I've said my piece about Link. I'm not going to use him because he's let me down. I feel like in a group setting, he'd be a little bit stronger in this one. But I've just used him too much, so I just can't keep going back to the well on Link.
And one of Link's factors, besides, like one of the factors why he might not be the best picked anyway, because you did say you can doctor the voice, but all we really hear from him is "Ha!" and stuff like that.
Well, he'd be a great backup singer. Okay,
he would not be the Justin Timber. He'd be more the Joey Fatone. He's in the back.
Yeah, I mean, let's face facts here, but Link's got some pipes on him. Okay, and Link can even be like, I mean, some boy bands back in the day, some of them used to play some instruments. Now we know that Link is a master of many instruments.
Yeah.
He's done flutes, he's done skin flute, he's done ocarinas, he's done a hell of a lot of ocarinas. He's played guitar, harp,
Bongos,
horns. He's done it all, man. So Link is a multi-talented musician.
and he could even be the conductor in Wind Waker. He's
Oh
got
yeah,
he's got the little.
We're gonna even conduct.
Yeah.
So there you go. You
So
got any
Link-
picks for me here?
No, because
I'm thinking we're gonna switch back and forth on this one. You pick one, then I pick one, then you pick one. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Well, you can.
We're not gonna go all in.
You can
here.
still go first. Do you want to stick with video games for our first one? Are we just picking whatever, or we're gonna do one has to be video game, one has to be movie, one has to be this, or are we just doing?
I'll
whatever?
say we'll do one. I'll say we'll do like one per thing. So video games and things. But there's so many things out there, like comic books and stuff like that of like dudes that didn't really make it to a movie. Like, are we really? We're doing 4 guys each. So are we really like narrowing it down to these things? No. But if you pick a video game guy, you can't pick another video game guy
Until we get towards the end, right?
No.
So we're just one video game guy.
One video game guy, and then you got to switch to
Something
movies or or something else.
Okay.
I think. Let me think of what some of my guys were. I got one guy here.
Well,
And then-
I still don't have any definite. I have one video game character that I might pick, but if you do it, I'll do something else. So if you have a video game one, go for it.
Okay. Well,
And if it's mine, I might be a little salty. But
all
go
right.
ahead.
Well, I don't think it's going to be yours because my video game character is from a video game that you have not beaten. So, I'm just going to go straight ahead. Now, this was tough, and I'm giving you another hint here. It was tough to pick between Squall Leonhart and Cloud Strife. But I'm going to go with the one with more mainstream appeal here and say Cloud Strife.
You were very close to my pick, actually.
So,
And I think you might know my pick.
I still don't.
Okay.
But
It is from the same.
it's from the same franchise.
Defend Cloud.
I'm not going to defend Cloud. The man doesn't need.
It's self-explanatory.
It doesn't need to be defended. Now he's got great hair that's going to draw these girls to him, especially when they tour Japan. They're gonna fucking love this guy's spiky hair. All right, he's got beautiful blue eyes. And he's just got that good slender build. He's a pretty boy, man. The factor that took Cloud instead of Squall for me is Squall just has this giant fucking gash across his head. Okay, and maybe that's a little bit sexy, but when we're talking boy bands here, I'm thinking you got to be pretty clean baby faced going into this.
Okay.
So even though some members of NSYNC had some pretty hilarious goatees
Right.
in their heyday.
So, you brought up Cloud, and my pick is
Sephiroth?
one of the only guys that can go toe to toe with Cloud. Sephiroth is my pick.
Jeez,
You think Cloud has good hair? Look at Sephiroth's long, luscious locks, my friend.
Oh man, but Sephiroth's like a bad boy. You know what I mean?
You know what? And girls like that.
Yeah, that's true. And I was going to factor in that kind of like one of your guys here should probably be like a bad boy. You know what I mean? To kind of have that
Right.
appeal in there too. Kind of like Scary Spice with the Spice Girls. Who was the bad boy of NSYNC?
None of them. All total baby faces, man.
Okay. No heels in NSYNC. What about the Backstreet Boys?
They kind of had some bad, but though I don't know. He was definitely was not white. He was some sort of like.
Oh God.
He was like Puerto Rican or something. He had the goatee.
The only Backstreet Boy that I really know by name is Nick Lachey.
You don't know Nick Carter?
Okay.
No, the Lachey's are 98 degrees.
Oh,
man.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Damn.
Damn.
I'm
Nick
gonna
and-
lose
Nick-
this poll because I just don't know my boy bands.
Nick and Drew Lachey.
Who's the bad boy of New Kids on the Block?
I don't know. Dan Kinham would
Is
know.
it Is it Donnie?
Whichever one you think is the baddest of New Kids. I mean, I'm not sure.
All right. So, anyways, you've picked Sephiroth. Okay, so now I got to move on from video games, and I'm gonna say for my bad boy here, I'm gonna go to the movies.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm gonna go to somebody who has a great feel for pop music. Okay. I don't know if he can really sing. I know he can dance. I've seen him dance. Okay.
Okay. So he's got some dance moves.
And I know he can fuck because that's also an important thing. When you get these fangirls back on the tour bus and you're committing your statutory rape, because all these girls are 12, you know what I mean? But you got to know what you're working with down there. I'm going with Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Oh, man.
All right,
That
this
is a
guy,
bad boy.
he's a bad boy, and he's hot as hell. He knows a thing or two about pop music. He's a huge fan of Huey Lewis and the News and Phil Collins. And he can dance, okay? We saw him do the little dance before he killed Jared Leto.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of some attractive guys in movies. And I
You don't have to go movies in this round.
No, I think
Just because I did.
No, I'll go movies in this
Okay.
round. And I'm trying to think. I have two in my head right now, and I'm trying to think which one would be more appealing to the female demographic.
Okay.
They both not only transcend film, but they're also key players in literature, strictly preteen literature. They're both kind of bad boys.
Oh, God, I know where you're going with this. You're going to win, you piece of shit.
But which one do I go with? The werewolf or the vampire? Which one do I go with?
I might think that you have to go.
One is always shirtless, but one is like the beautiful, sparkly prince.
That's the thing. I think that you got to go. I don't want to help you with this one, man, but I think that you got to go sparkly on this
You gotta
one.
go, Edward. I think you gotta go.
I think that just adds to the gimmick of your boy band here is when they shine that spotlight on him and just so sparkly already.
And you know what? He fits in better with Sephiroth than Jacob. Because Jacob's got the body, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
he does.
Edward's got the glow to him.
Yeah.
And I think he'd fit in well with Sephiroth, so I will go with Edward Cullen. Never thought I'd say that on this show, but I will go with
That's
Edward.
a cheap move, man. Like, I'm using actual cool characters, and you're just coming out here with this bullshit. I know that I'll have Aubrey's vote after you heard your fucking shit here. All right, so we're moving away from movies now. I'm gonna go to the great world of anime for this next
Does
one.
it have to be anime or can it be cartoons?
I guess we can go cartoons as well.
Because I'm trying to think. But go ahead, you can keep going.
Okay, so for my next pick, I was considering my bad boy would maybe be Vegeta. Now, Vegeta ended up as the hottest girl in Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, no doubt about it.
And Vegeta has his fair share of fangirls. But he's a little old to be in my boy band.
We need some
We do know that he can dance and sing, as evidence about all the gods. So he could perform at a high level. But I'm gonna take somebody a little bit younger. Somebody with perhaps maybe Vegeta singing.
Oh my
I'm going with Future Trunks for my third pick of my Now, the only question is whether or not I should go future Trunks with the ponytail or future Trunks with the bowl cut. I'll let you just. I'll just the bowl cut. I'll just let you pick in your little thumbnail or whatever you're gonna do, which one I'm gonna use. But there's the same guy, and you know, obviously this boy band's gonna be touring the world, so he can try out several different hairstyles. Future Trunks is my pick.
Damn.
He can literally travel time to show you his love.
I didn't even consider
That's like
him.
a song too, just like time traveling love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm kind of doing a cop-out pick here because I've already used this guy before, but he did me well in the polls. So we've got Sephiroth and Edward Cullen being they're probably your singers. That's the JT and what's the other guy's name? JC Sergey.
JC and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, so those are the guys but you need a guy in the back that just kind of looks cool. And
he's got some moves, probably.
Yeah, he's probably
got to have some good moves.
He's got to have some good moves. He's pretty buff. So I'll go with Johnny Bravo again for this one.
Okay.
Cartoons.
Little cop-out pick. See, the thing...
I said it was you fucking obliterated me with Trunks.
I don't think so, because you still have Edward Cullen as your ace in the sleeve.
I don't know about that.
Dude, the girls just fucking love that guy.
But anyone who knows anything...
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about people that know anything, because they're certainly not the people that are voting on our polls. Okay, Johnny Bravo, my question to you on this pick is that Johnny Bravo doesn't really get girls.
He doesn't, but he just needs the looks. And if he's actually popular, because he's just some fucking like schlub running around trying to pick up girls at the gym. If you put him in the limelight, I think he'd have some success.
Okay, so now, I didn't really fully think this through when we were doing like one of everything. So, I don't really have my final pick nailed down. I don't even know what genre to go to for him. I'm guessing TV.
TV or comics or...
TV or comics or, you know...
I don't know. What else is there? We've covered everything.
Man, I'm going to tell you that I kind of want to get a little bit of some what's the word here? A little bit of diversity going in my group.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I got a bunch of handsome white guys.
You want a black guy?
Well, I mean, he could be Mexican.
Okay.
But I don't think I'm going to put George Lopez in my group.
That would not be ideal. I do not.
So, I might have to go into the realm of comic books.
Okay.
To find someone of the kind of ethnicity that I need here. And I'm going to have to go with somebody that's got some... I think it's safe to say he's got some groove, okay? He could also kick ass, all right? I'm going to go with Luke Cage for my final pick. Now, he may not be the first thing you think of when it's coming to sexy, but I think he's really going to target this African-American female demographic.
Right.
And I know he's got moves and he's got some funk. Now, I'm not going with newer, bald, black Nick Cage. I'm going with old Afro. Yeah, not Nick Cage, sorry. Did I say Nick Cage when I first said it? No, I'm going with old Afro Luke Cage. Okay, which Nick Cage is black now in the comics, isn't he?
Luke Cage.
But Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Nick Cage is in S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm fucking with you.
Okay. All right.
As in Nick Cage from National Treasure was what I was...
Yeah, I understand where you're going with this, but I'm talking about Nick Cage from fucking Avengers, who is Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
But I'm going Luke Cage.
Yes.
With the afro. Take your pick.
Okay, well, sticking with comic books and the teen theme, I think I might have to go with a Teen Titan on this one.
You gonna go Cyborg?
Could go Cyborg too.
Look at that.
See,
I think that could
Yeah,
Get some ladies. He's got the shirt.
He's showing me
unbuttoned.
a 70s looking picture of Luke Cage.
Yeah,
but no, I think I already have one buff dude in my squad. I've got Johnny Bravo, so I think I'm just gonna go for a more mainstream pick here, and I think I'll go with a cooler version of Robin, not like the shitty '60s version of Robin. I'll go with a cool, almost like Nightwing Robin. I don't know.
Is that your pick, Nightwing?
No. Robin. I'll go with Robin.
Robin.
Yes.
Which Robin are you doing? Are you doing Dick Grayson?
Whichever one I look up on Google Images when I'm making the thumbnail and looks the coolest.
Oh, man. See, like, Dick Grayson is Nightwing, but I don't think you're going to find any cool Robin pictures of him because when he was Robin, it was like in the 60s and 70s.
Right.
When, he was kind of, like, lame.
Right.
But he ended up being the coolest one out of all of them.
Down the line.
Yeah, but the cooler looking ones are probably going to end up being like your Tim Drakes and your Damian Waynes and stuff like that. I don't think Damian Wayne's going to be the one, though, because he looks too young.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, man. So you got Robin. We got our boy bands out there. And I guess I got to say who my lead singers would be. I definitely got to go with Cloud and Trunks. Those are my two lead guys. And those are going to be the guys that'll break off and have the best solo career.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so that's all we got.
That's all we got this week. Again, if you guys are still listening and have not clicked that subscribe button yet, please do so. Leave this video a thumbs up. All of our social media is in the description. So if you're not following us, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you.
Maybe I should have went with Prince. That's my last pick. Is he Leo? Can I?
No, he's not a fictional character.
I don't know about all that. I guess I can't use him because even if I used a fictional character version of him, it would be in a movie.
Yeah.
As the kid. Anyways, yeah, Luke Cage is my last pick. So anyways, you said like, comment, and subscribe?
Yes. Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
That's about it. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening again this week. Sorry for another super long episode. Hope to get you guys again next week. Make sure you leave us some questions in the comments. Let us know what you think about the show. Make sure you tell your friends. Spread the word. Share this on Facebook and on Twitter or whatever. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us both on Twitter. Follow the podcast page on Twitter. You know the drill.
Yeah, you know the deal. And we'll come at you next week with another, hopefully shorter episode.
Yep.
A little lighter on the ears for you guys. But regardless, we will be back.
All right, thanks, guys. This is Dynamite Jared signing off.
And this is Buddy the Bruiser signing off. We will see you next week.